The first rays of sunlight peeked through the cracks in the bamboo walls, casting a warm, golden glow that slowly spread across the room. Karma opened his eyes, a new day dawning in his small village, nestled in the mountains of Arunachal Pradesh. The village, with its quaint huts and winding paths, was still shrouded in the soft hues of early morning. The air was crisp and cool, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth. It was a scent that spoke of the forest's secrets and the promise of a new day. He could hear the rooster crowing in the distance, a familiar melody that marked the start of another day. The sounds of the village waking up were like a symphony of life, each note a reminder of the community's rhythm.
Another day begins, Karma thought to himself, stretching and yawning as he prepared to face the day.
Karma shared a small, humble hut with his family. The walls, made of bamboo and mud, were adorned with simple decorations that spoke of their heritage and traditions. His mother was already up, preparing breakfast over an open fire. The crackling of the fire and the clinking of pots and pans were comforting sounds that filled the hut. The aroma of rice and lentil soup filled the air, a comforting smell that reminded him of home. It was a simple meal, but it was made with love and care. He could hear his little sister, Tashi, giggling softly from her corner. Her laughter was infectious, bringing a smile to Karma's face. Her laughter was like the sound of mountain streams, clear and full of life. It was a sound that brought joy to the entire household. Karma quickly got dressed and joined his mother and sister for breakfast. The small wooden table was set with bowls of steaming rice and lentil soup. Their meal was simple but nourishing, a testament to his mother's hard work and resourcefulness. Each bite was a reminder of the love and care that went into preparing it.
Good morning, Karma. Eat up, my boy. His mother's voice was gentle yet firm, filled with the warmth of a new day.
As he ate, Karma couldn't help but let his gaze wander towards the majestic Himalayas that loomed in the distance. The mountains were a constant presence, their peaks often hidden by clouds. Their snow-capped peaks seemed to touch the sky, a constant reminder of the vast world that lay beyond his village. The mountains were both a barrier and a gateway, holding secrets and stories of their own. The mountains held a sense of mystery and wonder for Karma. He often dreamed of what lay beyond them, of the adventures and discoveries that awaited. They whispered tales of ancient spirits, hidden waterfalls, and unexplored trails. Each peak and valley seemed to hold a story, waiting to be discovered. He longed to explore their hidden secrets, to climb their slopes and breathe the air at the top of the world. The mountains called to him, their silent voices promising adventure and discovery. But for now, he knew his duty lay in the village, helping his family and pursuing his education. He had responsibilities, and he took them seriously, knowing that one day his dreams might become a reality. After breakfast, Karma set out for school, walking along the familiar path that wound through the village. The path was lined with wildflowers and tall grasses, and the morning sun cast long shadows on the ground. The village school was a simple building, but it was a place of learning and growth. Karma looked forward to the lessons and the chance to be with his friends. The teacher, a kind and knowledgeable man, greeted the children with a smile. He was dedicated to their education, knowing that it was the key to a brighter future. Karma and his classmates settled into their lessons, eager to learn and grow. The classroom was filled with the sounds of learning, a testament to the village's commitment to education. As Karma studied, he couldn't help but dream of the future. The mountains, the village, and the lessons all blended together, creating a tapestry of hope and possibility. The day would end as it began, with the sun casting its golden light over the mountains. But for Karma, each day was a step closer to his dreams, a journey that began with the dawn in the mountains. The village school was a short walk from Karma's home, a single-room building with a tin roof and walls adorned with colourful charts and maps. The charts were filled with vibrant images of animals, plants, and faraway places, sparking the curiosity of young minds. Inside, Mr. Singh, their teacher, was already writing on the blackboard, his stern but kind face illuminated by the morning light streaming in through the windows. The chalk dust danced in the beams of sunlight, creating a magical atmosphere that made learning feel like an adventure.
Good morning, class. Today, we will continue our lesson on the circulatory system. This system is like the body's highway, transporting blood, nutrients, and oxygen to every part of the body.
Mr. Singh was a respected figure in the village, known for his dedication to his students and his unwavering belief in the power of education. He often stayed after school to help students with their studies, believing that education was the key to a better future for them all. Karma loved going to school. Each day was a new opportunity to learn something exciting and new. The school was more than just a place of learning. It was a sanctuary where dreams were nurtured. It was his window to the world, a place where he could learn about distant lands, scientific discoveries, and the wonders of the human body. The books he read transported him to places he could only dream of visiting. His favorite subject was science, particularly the chapters on the human body and how it worked. He was captivated by the complexity and beauty of the human anatomy. He was fascinated by the intricate network of bones, muscles, and organs that made up a human being. Each part had a specific function, and together they created a living, breathing miracle.
One day, I'll understand all of this and help people. I want to be the one who brings comfort and relief to those who are suffering.
As Mr. Singh droned on about the circulatory system, explaining how the heart pumps blood through the veins and arteries, Karma's mind drifted to his dreams. He could see himself in a white coat, working tirelessly to heal the sick and injured. He imagined himself as a doctor, treating the sick and injured in his village. He saw himself diagnosing illnesses, prescribing medicines, and performing surgeries. He saw himself wearing a white coat, his stethoscope around his neck, a symbol of hope and healing. The stethoscope was more than just a tool. It was a promise to his community that he would always be there to help. He dreamt of eradicating diseases, mending broken bones, and bringing smiles back to the faces of those in pain. He wanted to be the beacon of hope in his village, the one people turned to in their darkest hours. The bell rang, jolting Karma back to reality. The sound echoed through the classroom, signaling the end of the lesson. He gathered his books and joined his friends outside, their laughter echoing through the mountain air. The playground was filled with the sounds of joy and excitement as children played games and shared stories. But even as he played, a part of him remained lost in his dreams, his heart set on a future where he could make a difference in the lives of others. He knew that the path to becoming a doctor would be challenging, but he was determined to pursue his dream no matter the obstacles. The walk back home from school was always filled with laughter and playful banter. Karma and his friends would race each other down the dusty paths, their voices echoing through the valley. The sun would cast long shadows as they ran, their feet kicking up clouds of dust that shimmered in the golden light. It was a time of innocence and joy, a brief respite from the harsh realities of their lives. But today, a shadow hung over Karma's heart. His father, who worked as a laborer in a distant town, had been gone for several months. Each day without news felt like an eternity, and the uncertainty gnawed at him. The once vibrant and carefree boy now walked with a heavy heart, his mind clouded with worry and fear. His absence was a constant worry for the family, a void that was felt in their everyday lives. The empty seat at the dinner table was a stark reminder of the missing presence, a silent testament to their longing and hope for his return. Every meal was a blend of sustenance and sorrow, each bite a reminder of the struggle they faced. His mother, despite her cheerful demeanor, bore the brunt of their hardship. She worked tirelessly in the fields, her hands roughened by toil, her back bent with fatigue. The sun's relentless heat beat down on her, but she never faltered. Her strength was the backbone of the family, her resilience a beacon of hope in their darkest times.
We have to keep going for the children. Her voice, though weary, carried a note of determination. She knew that giving up was not an option, that her children depended on her strength and perseverance.
She never complained, always putting the needs of her children before her own, but Karma could see the tiredness in her eyes, the worry lines etched on her face. Each day was a battle, and though she fought valiantly, the toll it took on her was evident. Her once bright eyes now held a shadow of exhaustion, a silent plea for relief. That evening, as they sat down for their meager dinner, Karma's mother broke the news. The air was thick with tension, the silence almost deafening as they awaited her words.
Karma, the money order from your father hasn't arrived. We might have to make some tough decisions. Her voice trembled slightly, the weight of the situation pressing down on her. She looked at her children, her heart breaking at the thought of the sacrifices they might have to make.
Their already tight finances were stretched to the limit. There was a possibility that Karma might have to drop out of school and find work to help support the family. The thought of leaving his education behind, of abandoning his dreams, was a bitter pill to swallow. But the reality of their situation left little room for hope. The news hit Karma like a ton of bricks. His dreams of becoming a doctor, of escaping the cycle of poverty that had plagued his family for generations, seemed to crumble before his eyes. The stethoscope he had once held with pride now felt like a distant dream, a symbol of a future that seemed increasingly out of reach. The weight of responsibility, the knowledge that his family's well-being rested on his young shoulders, was a burden too heavy to bear. He felt the crushing pressure of expectations, the silent demand to step up and fill the void left by his father. It was a role he was not ready for, a challenge that seemed insurmountable.
What will we do, Mother? His voice was barely a whisper, a reflection of the fear and uncertainty that gripped his heart. He looked to her for guidance, for a glimmer of hope in the darkness.
His mother looked at him with a mix of sadness and determination, her eyes reflecting the struggle they faced. She knew the road ahead would be difficult, but she was resolved to find a way through it.
We'll find a way, Karma. We always do. Her words were a promise, a vow to her children that they would not be defeated by their circumstances. She held on to the hope that together they could overcome any obstacle.
And with that, Karma knew that despite the shadows of hardship, they would continue to fight for a better future. The sun set over the village, casting a warm glow over the fields. It was a reminder that even in the darkest times, there was always a glimmer of hope, a promise of a new day. Karma took a deep breath, steeling himself for the challenges ahead. He knew that with his family's support, they could face anything together.